Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 68 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Today's episode is brought to you by TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is the website builder platform for IT business owners. Get a clean, effective, and professional website up and running in an hour or less with TechSite Builder. Learn more at techsitebuilder.com. On this episode, Paco and I dig into the Computer Business Marketing Facebook page to chat about the topics that are on your minds. Should you have video on your homepage of your website? Are business cards still a thing? Plus, Paco and I talk a bit about focus and the myth of multitasking, all that and so much more. Coming up right now. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Computer Business Marketing Show. If you own or work in an IT services business, this is the place to learn how to get more clients, keep them happy, and grow your revenue. You can watch, download, and or subscribe to all show episodes at computerbusinessmarketing.com.
You can also catch our live stream on Facebook every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just be sure to like the TechSite Builder Facebook page, click on the following tab, and select see first so that the live stream will jump on the top of the feed.
Yep, and we love seeing you guys in the live stream so that we can interact with you and answer your questions and see how your children's books are going. So it's always a good time. Welcome to another edition of the podcast. Today we... So I'm going to go ahead and share my frustrations a little bit and vent a little bit because running a live show it's tough when guests cancel on you, and it's happened to us twice in a row now, 2 weeks in a row. I think part of the issue is these both of these guests are people that I didn't really have any kind of relationship with beforehand. So they're folks I found through friends of friends or through podcast guest services, and they're people that I didn't really know beforehand. So sometimes it's easy, for those types of guests to cancel on you because there's really no skin in they don't have any skin in the game. But of course, it's frustrating with the live show, and both of these guests canceled less than 24 hours before the show was scheduled to go. So, we just didn't have a chance to scramble to find someone to fill in. But that's okay because we, believe me, between Paco and I, we have lots of thoughts around marketing, lots of tips, lots of experiences, lots of mistakes we've made. So we're going to do that again this show. This show, we're going to actually take the opportunity to jump into the Computer Business Marketing Facebook feed and take a look at the latest posts in there, and then kind of give our thoughts around them and talk about them. I think this is great because this is based on your guys' feedback, your guys' struggles or questions or wins or experiences. So we're going to take some of those real world scenarios that folks are talking about in the Facebook group, and we're going to chat about them here on the show. So this should be a good one. Lots of different topics that we're going to touch on, and lots of different ideas, and we're going to just have some fun with it. So looking forward to diving into that with my co-host here, Paco Lebron. How you been, Paco?
Better than I deserve. Can't complain. Things have been well.
Good.
We had an interesting week. We had a couple of migrations. We are going through our transitions from our previous RMM to Syncro. So we are basically not only updating the RMM, but we also are updating our AV. So basically they have an integration with Bitdefender. So we've had a couple hiccups on the Bitdefender side, but the guys over there been on it. They took care of everything and starting to work with all that. So far it's been pretty smooth, and then it's been helping with not only my marketing, but it's also been helping me with my upsells. So I've been getting a lot of alerts that of bad hard drives. And so I'm now letting them know, hey, we got to get these hard drives replaced for my ongoing clients. And then alternatively, for a client that I had where they run a custom tailor suit place, and the guy's been in business for many, many years. The issue is he's been in business for many, many, many years. So he unfortunately has a system where it's not the greatest secured. And, you know, as everyone knows, if you're breached, you got to pay the $250 per person for identity theft and credit monitoring and all that. You know, and this guy has well into the thousands of clients that he's serviced over the last 60 to 70 years. So, and it's been like a family trade business. Yeah. So I've been trying. So with Syncro, that's been able to help me just throw some of those agents on there, monitor some things, and then they're going to be doing, my understanding, a move soon. So I'm hoping to kind of get some going from there. But as far as the other stuff that we got going on, we did a couple network setups.
Really quick, Krista is asking if you don't mind sharing, what did you use before and why did you change? And I think you might have touched on
Krista,
this.
She would say that. So I was using Ninja RMM, and I was using Malwarebytes Cloud Enterprise. So the reason why I switched was nothing bad on Ninja side. It's just that I've been in the PSA system for 4 or 5 years with Repair Shopper. So when they migrated over to the Syncro platform and they combined their RMM platform into it, it just made more sense for me to get my automations and get everything automatically done. As far as why I'm switching AVs from Malwarebytes Cloud to Bitdefender, I cannot get the price point that I had with Ninja, which was at a very good price point, to going directly with Malwarebytes. That's just a relationship Malwarebytes has with a lot of the RMM providers, and I'm unable to make that cost work to go directly. So I switched to Syncro and Bitdefender, which Syncro offers Bitdefender at about $1 an endpoint. So I can't really go wrong at that point. So that's that. We did a couple network setups this week, which I'm really thrilled about because we had a client that had a lot of internet and Wi-Fi issues. And what we were able to do is put in our own stuff. So we put in an Arachnus router in there. We put 2 Open Mesh APs. And now I'm able to see what's actually happening. And what was really difficult was because we were dealing with an internet provider that was an independent reseller. So it wasn't like RCN, Comcast, anybody like that. The biggest issue that we had was every time we had an issue, they couldn't use the Wi-Fi, I had no visibility into their equipment. So every time we open up a ticket, reboot the router, check it out. It should be good now, you know. And it was never anything specific. Now I'm able to have the Open Mesh Cloud Tracks to set it to look at it, and also go through any type of just routing to see what's going on. And what I did learn is they sure love to stream a lot of videos and Netflix. So, and apparently they have all their iPhones, tablets, laptops, all this sort of stuff that's connected. So I've been blocking MAC addresses like nobody's business to free up the network. So,
right.
And then we had a really good one, which I actually contacted you, Matt, for, which was I had a client that their site was compromised, and what was happening is their website, correct. What did I say?
You just said site, so maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so their website was compromised. So we went through all this rigmarole trying to figure out what was going on, and finally, you know, and it turned out the WordPress developer was as confused as a termite in a wooden yo-yo. So we ended up having to go ahead, and I called you just to get a better idea of like what could be the best option. So what we did was, you know, the company you've mentioned before, Sucuri, SUCURI.net. You know, they're the best in the game. They went ahead, we got them all set up, and from my understanding, everything is good to go. But since I'm not the WordPress developer, nor do I handle any of that, that's all to them. So that was a good layup because that helped us out to understand what was going on. And we had a point person we can go to as far as the service versus hiring like a WordPress security advisor or something like that. That was like going to be like uber expensive.
Right. Yeah, and I found with you know, sites getting hacked, similarly to a computer getting hacked, it can really dig its claws into your files, and it could be really hard to track it down manually. and even certain scanners will miss stuff. Like, we're talking different antivirus tools or different virus scanners can miss certain things and not find certain things, so it's something that I used to do, but now I just I have a couple of trusted services like Securi that I'll use, because when you go to a specialist, they do nothing but remove website malware. So they know all the tricks, they know where it's hiding, they know all the things to try, and they've got a guarantee. So they'll remove it, and then it'll stay removed for a certain amount of time. So that's kind of what I'd rather spend my time doing other stuff than hunting down a virus and removing it from a website. So that's kind of something to keep in mind also with computers in general. If there's something like removing viruses that maybe just isn't your cup of tea or takes too long, there's talk to folks in the community and find out who is like a guru at removing viruses and that kind of thing, and then partner with them and refer them off or white label their services, and that's a good lesson there.
Yep, it was definitely an interesting dilemma that we ran into, but glad that we kind of got it all sorted out for them.
Cool. So someone's saying my audio is a little choppy. Are you hearing that on your end, Paco?
Yeah, it's crackling a little bit.
Okay, let me see if I can.
It's similar to like what we were when we tested before.
What we've done before.
Yeah, I think the mic just might be too hot.
Okay, let me adjust it really quick. Do you have any other news?
Let's see. I mean, there are some other things we're doing in the background, IT related. We've talked about it on other shows, but essentially, we're revving up on some stuff in the background. Once details come out more, I can share a little bit more. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, they know where I'm at. They can go to those places to figure out what I'm talking about. But outside of that, that's kind of what my week has been consumed of.
Paco has many double lives.
Yeah, I sideline with another network called Podnuts, so which I think I may have mentioned this already before, but my show that I was on over there, which was called Tech Life, which was formerly known as Podnuts Daily, I am planning to sunset that show. So I have eight episodes that are coming out, and then that'll be it for me for that show. So I am trying to figure out when I'm going to start kind of plotting them out. I think I'm going to start probably in the beginning of November, and then all the way down to the new year. And the main point of that show was just to give a more transparent look at a IT business owner who was part-time working in corporate America, transitioning as a full-time business owner, and kind of hit the bumps and bruises and kind of see what's going on. And then my plan is for the last episode is to reveal quite a lot that's happened in the year, because I wanted to hold off on those, which were pretty big deals that happened to me specifically, personally, and in the business, and how I was able to take care of that from the beginning of the year when it happened to me all the way to the end. So hopefully it'll be a good, transparent idea for those that are trying to figure out if this is for them. They'll have an upfront, close perspective of what to expect.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff. And look forward to see what you guys are putting together, what you guys are scheming and coming up with.
It's not a scheme. It's just a different flavor of something we're doing. It's, we've been very transparent about what we're doing. There's no, we just want to do something different. So.
Excellent. How's my audio?
It's still kind of choppy.
Still kind of choppy.
Yeah.
I'm going to close the video in Facebook. I think it still might be like a resources issue where the computer just doesn't have enough memory or processor power to do everything smoothly.
Gotcha. Bojan, you know where to edit. So,
and there were a couple things that you don't have to edit this out. I like talking about this stuff, like this inside baseball stuff. What was I going to say? Oh, so I ended up, and this kind of leads into the next story I was going to talk about. I ended up getting a new computer, and I remember I had this kind of issue a lot at first before, and then I did some tweaks and adjusted some settings and did some stuff with the Zoom, and it kind of fixed it. But so I might need to do some of those things again this time around to fix that. But yeah, so still not much better.
So talk again.
Talking again.
Yeah, it's still kind of it's still kind of there, but that's
all right. Well, we'll have to live with it for now. I closed everything that I can close. All right. So yeah, I got this new computer set up and spent most of the day today setting it up and then kind of reinstalling things and figuring out what I needed to set up and it's a good it's a good practice to kind of start from scratch with a new computer, because then you realize the apps and the programs and the services and stuff that you really need, and then you just install them when you need them, and then the stuff that you might have installed before that you never used just doesn't get installed again. So it's kind of a nice way to start fresh and figure out what really matters. And one of the kind of different approaches I'm taking is last time or up to recently, I had been really focused on keeping all of the services I use in browser. So like project management with Trello, my tasks with Wunderlist, communications with Slack, Google Docs for most documents, and email, of course, and all that stuff. I tried to keep in browser because to me, it was easier to transition to like my laptop or to the phone if I'm traveling and still be able to use everything because it's all in browser, it's all in the cloud, whatever. But what I found over time was that when I start using things in the browser, it's really easy to get distracted by other things in the browser, like Facebook, for example, or even email. I'm finding that I can't have email open all the time. I need to open email, process emails, close email, and not pay attention to email until the next time I need to check email. Otherwise, it just keeps pulling me away from doing work, especially when you're juggling a few different businesses and a few different projects. You can't make any headway in any of them if you keep getting distracted. So something I'm trying now is I'm still using these cloud apps, but I'm going to use them, the Windows app version of all of these on the native desktop in Windows and not in the browser. So that way, for a lot of stuff in just my day-to-day work, I don't even have to open a web browser. I can just open the apps I need. Kind of old school, right? like we used to do when we would work on a computer, and we just open the applications that we needed to use. And I wanted to get away from that to be able to travel between computers and stuff easily. But now that these cloud apps have desktop versions that sync to the cloud seamlessly, it's a lot easier to be able to do that. So that's kind of the approach I'm taking now, is I'm just installing the Windows app version of all of the cloud apps that I use. And this kind of springs from a book I've been reading called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And this is a good book to read if you feel like you're getting too distracted, or you feel like there's not enough time in the day to accomplish all your business tasks. You find you're doing lots of stuff in the evening or on the weekends. And this talks about, what deep work is, which is really just basically spending, a good chunk of time, whether it be an hour or 2 hours, however long you can spend, to focus on one kind of high-level, intellectually challenging task, and that is better, a better use of your time than jumping between email and trying to multitask and servicing clients and then fixing computers and doing all this stuff at the same time. So that kind of prompted me to try this out and see how it goes, and I'll let you know. How do you kind of structure the different services you use? Are you more of a browser guy, or are you more of an app guy?
Yeah. So it's funny you talk about this, because what I was trying to do before was actually retire a lot of my Win32 apps for the Windows Store apps, and just start using those. And then integrations aren't as easy to work with sometimes unless they have a cloud component to it, like kind of what you were talking about.
Right.
A majority of my day is usually done in the cloud, and it's usually through a browser. I usually my CRM, my ticketing system, my marketing stuff that I got to do. Pretty much everything that I do. My even my down to my VoIP phone. You know, I don't have a physical phone. It's a soft phone on my PC with my headset that I have, which is a Jabra Pro that connects to pretty much my cell phone, my PC, and if I had a land phone, it would go to there. And I'm using Vonage right now, but not really too keen on them right now. They're kind of on my list, so I think I might be going back to 8x8. So we'll see how that kind of goes from there.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm going to see how this works, and especially like some of the stuff I do, web design and web coding and stuff. You really kind of have to dig in, and if you try to just do it in 15-minute chunks, you can't really get anything accomplished. Versus spending a good 2-hour chunk to just knock out the whole thing, and you produce, according to the book, you produce better results, and you're able to then switch to something else a lot easier than if you were doing like 15-minute chunks here, there, here, and there, here, and there. So
what's interesting about that is, so I keep all my to-do list on Google Keep, so two things. One, I've heard that to better do your to-do list is to put it on your calendar, like what you just said. But instead of doing it in 15 5-minute intervals, they say to do it by the minute. So because apparently if you really want to get the most out of your day, out of an 8-hour day, if you plan it by the minute, and if you don't do it in half an hour chunks, but if you do it down like, okay, this task, I don't know, I'm gonna update my blog posts. Some people will put 15 to 30 minutes, whereas I'll put 10, 8. Because I've timed myself, or I figured out it's gonna take that much time. It allows me to fill out the calendar a little bit easier, and especially with Calendly, with the 15 and 30-minute increments of those systems, it'll give me a little bit of gaps in between, so I can fill it with something. So for those that are just trying to figure, like you said, trying to get the most out of your day and figure it out, if you have a big to-do list, maybe putting it on your calendar may help you out.
Yeah, and that's actually something this book talks about, that specific thing where you should have your entire work day, charted out. Every minute of the day should be purposeful and be scheduled. And then he also talks about, how you're of course going to get interruptions and plans are going to change. And if that happens, if you get interrupted or you have to work on something else that you didn't plan on, once you're done with that, go back to your schedule and replot it out based on what just happened. You might have to take some stuff off the end or rearrange some things, but continue to keep that schedule going, because that really helps you avoid getting distracted and getting the shiny object syndrome and just going where there's the most shiny lights that are trying to grab your attention.
It's horrible because it's been it's scientifically proven you can't multitask. Right. You can switch between things very fast, but your mind can do it, but multitasking is a myth. Right. And exactly like you say, I'll be working on something and something pops up like, oh, I got to go ahead and take care of that. And I'll be down 3 other rabbit holes and come back and say, shoot, I didn't get a chance to do the original thing I was trying to do.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, we could spend a whole episode talking about this stuff. And we have before, I believe, and we probably will again. But yeah, I'll put a link to Deep Work in the show notes. And so you can check that out. But let's go ahead and jump into the sponsor message. So the sponsor for this week's episode is Tech Site Builder. And Tech Site Builder is the place you can go to get a website up and running for your computer or IT business. It's a clean, professional, designed website that you sign up for, and then you can build it out on your own. Or you can ask us to build it out for you. And really, the benefit and the purpose of Tech Site Builder is to take away the frustration of, first of all, choosing a web host, choosing a theme for WordPress or installing WordPress, and then figuring out how to configure the theme, and then trying to find the plugins you need, and then trying to figure out which pages to create and what to put on each page. And that can take hours, if not days, of your time. Avoid all of that with a system that's set up for you from the beginning. You just need to log in, fill out your information, add some pages if you want, add a blog post here and there if you want, swap in your logo, and it's ready to go. Some people are able to get their TechSite Builder site up and running in an hour or two. And really, to start out, that's all you need, right? Just an effective business website that has your info, makes it easy for people to contact you. And that's another thing we focus on, is making sure your contact info is front and center, making sure there's a contact form on the homepage, and making it so that information is easy to find. And I think that's something that that's a trap a lot of people fall into when they're building their own website, is they want to cram a bunch of information down the visitors' throats, and they want to pack as much, text and stuff everywhere, or they don't put enough information, and it's just like a huge image with a button, and that doesn't give people enough information about what's going on the website, what your services are. So with TechSite Builder, we try to strike a balance between clean and uncluttered, a clean and uncluttered page, but still giving the visitor the right amount of information, the crucial information that they need to know where to go on your site, to make a decision, to contact you, or to read more, or to dig into your services. And that's kind of what we're aiming for with TechSite Builder. So if you have a website that isn't working for you, or you can't find the time to update it, or you just think it's outdated, or you don't have a website, then definitely check out TechSite Builder. Head on over to techsitebuilder.com. There's a 30-day no-risk money-back guarantee, so that you can try it out, and if it works for you, then you can keep using it. If not, let us know. We'll refund your money, and then you can use something else that works better for you. I'm never going to say that TechSite Builder is right for everybody, but I do believe it's right for most people, and it's a good way to get a great website going. So check that out, techsitebuilder.com. All right, so the feature topic today is going to be just kind of Paco and I talking about some of the Facebook posts that are in the Computer Business Marketing Group. If you're not in the Computer Business Marketing Group, you got to get in there. There's so many great conversations going on, and it's just cool to see other people posting stuff like they're trying this or they're trying that, or hey, here's a Facebook post I put up, what do you think? Or here's a billboard that I'm putting up, what do you think? Or what do you guys think about my business card, or whatever. It's a great way to just ask hundreds, we're almost at 1,000 now, so almost 1,000 computer business owners what they think of your marketing problems, and the collective group can hopefully point you in the right direction. So you can check that out at techsitebuilder.com/group, or just search Computer Business Marketing in Facebook and you'll find it there. So let's see, one of the posts here from Cormac, he's asking, is it worth putting a short video on your website? And then he goes on to say there's a restaurant that's up for a digital marketing award for best website in his area. And what he loves about it is that they put a quirky video on their website. And it's a restaurant, and the video is kind of, it's got cool music, and it's, it's very professionally done. And so he's asking folks, is it worth doing that? What do you think about that, Paco, about putting a video on your website, and maybe what the video should have in it?
So I'm actually trying to watch the video now, but but I think I've always been back and forth on it. I think it helps sometimes. Since everyone is kind of a visual person, obviously photos and video and everything like that's getting pushed a lot more. As far as having it on your website, I don't know if that's something, because a lot of people are going to be on mobile, right? And now if there's a way that you can get the video to play without audio, because there was a study that was saying that videos usually watch without audio, I don't know how many percentage of the time, because they're either traveling or whatever the case may be. If there's some real cool way to do it that way, it may be beneficial. Some would say not doing it on autoplay. Some people say do it on autoplay. I mean, there's so many variations and flavors that you can do this, but specifically on your website, on your homepage, that's something that could be explored, especially if you want to grab someone's attention to just tell them who you are really quick. that may be a route to go, especially if you have a particular niche that you follow. That may be the opportunity to just talk about it in the video, so that whoever's looking for possibly what you're advertising on, that'll give them a better option for them to contact you.
Yeah, I think, video is something worth exploring. I think it shouldn't be the main focal point of most home pages, because of, like you said, especially with mobile. I prefer that you hide the video on mobile if you know how to do that. And if you're a tech site builder user, I can contact support and we'll show you how to do that. But because with videos, especially videos on websites, they're being embedded usually from another service like YouTube or Vimeo or something like that. And the way it's embedded, it's really hard for it to adjust its size depending on your screen width. So a lot of times what happens, and this actually happens with the video that he mentioned in that website, when I was on the mobile phone at the time and I opened it up and it got cut off. So I was only seeing half of the video as it was playing. Because it didn't adjust on mobile properly, and that's a huge issue. So just keep that in mind. For mobile, you probably just want to hide the video, and then have it only show when people are visiting on desktop. And then on desktop, I wouldn't make it the first thing people see. I would put it a little bit further down the page. Because people a lot of times aren't visiting your website to watch a video. They're visiting your website because they need help with a computer problem, or they got referred to you and they're in a hurry and they just want to get some information. So, usually the first things I recommend you have on your website is a quick blurb about what your business does, and who you service, what kind of clients you service, and then a quick way to contact you, either a button or a contact form or a phone number, and then some way for them to find out more, whether that's a button or a little block of text or whatever. And then maybe further down the homepage or on your about page or something like that, you can put a video. And the videos I like most, especially for computer repair shops, are videos where the owner or the main technician is talking, saying, hey, welcome to our store. We do this, we help you here, we help you there. You can have it professionally done. You can cut away to different things as you're talking, but I really recommend, if at all possible, that you as the owner of the business are the one talking in the video to kind of establish that personal connection. But the best way to use video is in social media. So, take that video and put it in Facebook, make it an ad, and get it out there so people can watch it and see it. Get it on YouTube, share it in your newsletter, put it on your blog posts, and that's where it's really going to be effective as a way of introducing your business to new people, and getting their attention and letting them get to know you. And that way, those services like Facebook and YouTube will adjust your video and make it look good no matter what device they're looking on. So that's definitely a great place to put it.
Yeah, one other thing too is depending on how the video is embedded, it will oftentimes bring out the default phone's video player. So if it does that, it's bringing you away from the website anyway. When you click done, you're hoping it brings it back to where it was on the site, but sometimes they may, in the middle of them watching so much content everywhere else done, if they're in the middle of something, if they forget, they're on to something else.
Right. Yeah, the worst thing that can happen is the video is intrusive and it blocks them from doing what they really want to do. And also on mobile, it can make the whole thing load slowly, and prevent the page from loading quickly, and we don't want that either. So lots of things to think about, but in general, videos are good. We just want to make sure we're using them in the right contexts, and we've had a couple episodes in the past here on the show, with the guys from Viral Ideas. We're on twice, and they talked a lot about video marketing and stuff, a lot of good tips about not only, how to market the videos, but also what to put in the videos and how to make them engaging and make them, make people want to press play to watch those videos. Cool. Hey, Paco, make sure you're monitoring the chat, because I had to close the window.
Yep.
I don't know
There's
if you
just
have that up.
a bunch of hellos.
Okay, good.
Seems
Hello?
like when you talk quieter, it's better audio.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah, so.
Hello, everyone who said hello.
Oh, that's Joe K.
All right. Hey,
from
hey,
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Hey. Good old Joe. All right. Let's see. So Sergey asked or talked about how he's going to redesign his business card, and he was asking for some ideas. His current ones were made about a few years ago in about 10 minutes on Vistaprint, and he had some comments on how unprofessional they look. Yikes! I definitely don't want that. So he asked, would you recommend putting one's mug, as in picture, on the card? How about contact information like phone and website or email as well? Double-sided or single-sided, etc., etc. So, Paco, what are your thoughts on business cards these days?
I think they're still needed, especially a lot of people tend to get spammed a lot on either email or with LinkedIn connections. Obviously, everyone says that LinkedIn is like the new resume 2.0. It's the new business card 2.0. But oftentimes that business card, although sometimes it does get lost, every so often, I find that it's still in the nature of networking to have business cards. It's just easier to get your information over. You're not bothering the other person to pull out their phone to try and find their contact so they can connect with you. And it's just easier, for at least in my opinion, to just pull out your business card. Hey, here you go, and go from there. So, when I moved offices, I thought about the same thing, even just using my old stuff. But we moved addresses. The back was done by our previous graphic designer. We needed an update. So having all that up and just having like a tagline and something like that on it just worked out for us. I will say that if you are a solo business, it's going to be better to have your face on it or some type of personable something, because from what I've seen, anytime you have, you can identify with the business, it gives a better reflection of the business to the customer, and then they know that they're talking to someone they can rely on directly. And I think Jeff Hallish talked about the story where he had I think it was like an auto mechanic, that it was the guy who was in the front of the website, it was the guy in front of his business card, it was the guy on the commercial picking up the phone, right. And that's why he went to him, because he knew he could talk to him. He never really talked to him specifically, but he saw him at the shop and everything like that. They did a rebranding, I don't know how many years later, and they took him off as kind of like the face of the brand, and he felt that it was like a disservice to the brand because that owner has did so much to make it the homegrown brand that it is by himself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Put your image on it, yeah, for sure. Because especially if you're like at a networking event where people are getting lots of cards at the event, and then by the time they get home, maybe probably the next day or a couple days later, they go through all the business cards. They're not going to remember who half the people are, and when they see your face, they're like, oh yeah, that was that guy and or gal, and that will that'll go a long way in helping them remember you. Another tip I've heard is to leave one side blank, so that every time you pass out your card to someone, you write something on the back, like, saying, hey, here's, a coupon code, or hey, this is the service we talked about, or just a quick reminder about what you guys talked about, or just, a quick little greeting that you can write in real time, in person, before you hand it to them, as a way for them to really remember you and remember, the conversation you had that prompted giving the business card. Because that's kind of one of the worst things, right, is you come home with a bunch of business cards and you just don't remember why you have these business cards, or who these people are, or what you're supposed to follow up on. So that's a cool thing to keep in mind. Personally, I like very clean and uncluttered business cards. I don't think you have to list like your full service list on there. I don't think you have to go into a bunch of details. Just what your business name is, maybe a quick sentence or tagline about what you do. If you have a storefront, your address. If not, don't put your address. If you have a website, put your website. If you don't. Phone number and email address. But yeah, put all those contact points, right? Because people like to contact you in different ways. They might not have their phone handy, or they might not be in front of a computer. So, depending on where they are at the time that they want to contact you, they have that information handy.
Yeah, and as you're being clever with your business cards, I personally hate the ones that are like the short, small, like tile ones, and like when you're trying to stack all the business cards together, those are the ones that like are loose or they're like uncomfortable. So I tend to like just just end up tossing them because it doesn't fit with the pile.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I mean, you can get creative where it's the same length, but if you're doing these oblong type deals and just trying to get fancy, I end up just tossing them because I can never put my cards together.
Yeah, you want it
the right
to
way.
like fit in your wallet or something, right?
Right.
So you can carry it around easily and then take it home and put it somewhere. Yeah, and there's some people I've seen like metallic business cards and business cards that like fold out and stuff.
Yep,
and
silk business cards.
Yeah, I mean, okay, cool, but it costs a lot of money, first of all, to get those made. And is the return on investment on that really gonna be worth it? I would instead focus on making an impression when you meet the person, and really connecting with them and getting them to like and trust you, and then that would be reason for them to contact you. The only way I can see those kind of cool different business cards working is if you're just throwing out your business cards to a bunch of people that you haven't really met and that you're not going to talk to, that are just going to get your business card maybe in the mail or in a gift bag or something, so they're never actually going to see you. That might be a good way to make kind of an impression on someone. But otherwise, I just like the simple traditional business card. Actually, I have mine for Alador here. I don't know if that's going to show backwards.
No, it's
or
straight.
Not. But it's just the logo, my name.
Yeah, it's coming out the right way.
Yep, and then it's probably not focused though.
There it goes.
Phone number, email address, website.
Phone number.
Yeah, and then just a little quick tagline so they know kind of what we do and how we can help them. And then there is some extra space around there to write, some notes or something if they want to. So I don't really rely on it too much, and I just did it quickly, but I think it works, and I think it fits the brand, and it gets the point across. I like what Patrick Palmer said. He said he's a big proponent of working with local companies. So if you can work with like a local print shop to print out your business cards, that's a great way to start a relationship, especially if you have a storefront and you're kind of really embedded in your community. That's a great way to, especially a print shop is a great relationship to have, because they get clients coming in all the time, and that they probably get questions that are might be related to computer issues, and I know like there's people out there who use print shops as like a drop-off point for computers if they don't have a storefront, if they just work from home. That's a great idea. Find a local shop to work with to get those printed, and that's cool.
One thing I had heard as a tip when using business cards and passing them out is fold a corner of your business card when giving it to them. For some reason, people remember that. So I forgot where I heard that from, but that's a tip for to try and stand out from all these other business cards.
And I love this post. There's a lot of great examples that people posted, pictures of their business cards, and just to give you some ideas, and you can get some inspiration.
Very cool.
All right. Well, I think that's about all the time we have. Unless was there any other posts we wanted to talk about really quick? I think those were the two big ones.
Yeah, I don't see anything that's kind of like unique. It's usually the regular, hey, how do I do this? A lot of the great articles you put out on, reviews, how to, hook things together, like the one with how to link your Facebook reviews with Google. I haven't had a chance to look at that one, but that looked pretty cool. But
right.
I don't see anything.
Yep.
Any
see
other
some folks posting some examples of videos and Facebook posts that they've been doing. So cool. So I think that's good. That's a good point to wrap it up. So again, join us in the Facebook group. Lots of, cool conversations we're having there, and a great place for you to ask questions and get some good answers. So excellent. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Let's keep the conversation going. Head on over to computerbusinessmarketing.com. Let us know in the show notes over there. At the bottom of the show notes, there's a comments form. You can leave comments. Let us know what you think of the episode. And then, of course, don't forget to join us in the Facebook group. Just, again, search for Computer Business Marketing in Facebook or request access to join the group. When you request access to join the group, you'll be asked 2 easy questions. What's your website? And if you want to sign up for the email list. And then we know that you're really a business owner, and we'll let you right into the group. And we can't wait to see you there.
And if you listen to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher, be sure to give us a shout out and leave a review. We'd love to hear your feedback, and every comment helps so that the podcast can be found by others.
And finally, don't forget to check out our sponsor for this episode, and that is Tech Site Builder. Thank you for checking out the Computer Business Marketing Show. This is Matthew Rodella.
And this is Paco LeBron.
Saying here's to your success.